Welcome back. It is Technique Thursday. My name is Ken and I want to give you guys something to do. Today I want to make a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced either combo or technique, so I want to get something for all three of you kinds of spinners out there. Before we begin though, I just want to say thank you. Huge shout out to Ninja Pirate. They make some of my favorite fire nunchucks, and when I was performing at Wakarusa this year, someone had stolen my phone and my nunchucks. I had them in a bag, and someone asked to see my staff, and I showed them my staff for a second. For that brief moment that I turned, someone swapped my bag and just ran off with it. Haven't seen it again. I was pretty bummed about losing my my camera and my nunchuck. Also on my camera, I was recording a life of a performer type of video. I was recording my travel to Wakarusa and what it's like to get ready for a big show. I lost all that footage because I wanted to share that with all you guys, which is really a bummer. I still don't have my phone back, but at least Ninja Pirate sent me another pair of nunchucks out of the kindness of their awesome heart. You should definitely check them out, man, because they are some of my favorite chucks, and I'm super stoked that they just gave me another pair. They sent me one out of the kindness of their heart after someone just, I don't even know, like, unless you're a nunchucker, I don't even know what you could do with that. Like, you can't sell it at a pawn shop. People aren't gonna know what that is. Whatever it was a bummer, and it's just really cool that people can come out and show their kindness when bad things happen, you know. And Monica, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name. The last name is Tarnawski. She had been asking about a rotor pass because she says she can only do it with an aerial. So let's start from the beginner, because this is more of a beginner move, then we'll go to an intermediate, then we'll go to an advanced. Beginner move, can you show me the rotor passes, basically, is what I'm thinking she's asking. Now the rotor pass kind of comes from the staff rotor, which is basically where we're just spinning it in a circle and our hands are exchanging between the circle. We're going to take the same techniques from a pass with a staff and we're going to apply it to the chucks. But it's not much different, to be honest, except for you have this folding center. So let's try it here. On our right hand, we're going to go with right hand. If you're left, you're going to do everything backwards. In our right hand, we're going to spin it counterclockwise, like so. And our left hand, our thumb is going to be pointed towards the ground, like boo, you know, like you're doing, you know, this is what you do when people are performing, right? Boo, I want on stage. No, I'm kidding. Your thumbs will be pointing towards the ground. It's going to reach out around 6 o'clock. This will be up around 12 o'clock. So if this was a clock, your hands, as this is spinning counterclockwise, this will be up at 12, this will be at 6, and you're going to catch it. Now do you see my thumb right now is pointing out as I'm spinning it. This is the keep, well, this is a fire chuck thing. This is to keep the fire away from your hand. And then it's going to point downward like this. So it's rotating counterclockwise and it's going to point downward. This is the first half. There's 2 points to it, okay? From there, a lot of people can throw it. I think throwing's awesome, actually. From there, what you can do is as soon as your left hand catches, your right hand can flick it up to continue the motion. So here, flick. So counterclockwise, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, grab, flick to keep it going that way. And as soon as your palm faces upward, so you rotate with it, and as soon as your left palm faces upward, you open your hand and that will cause it to fly in the air and you can catch it. Now, that is not the rotor pass, but I'm just showing you that's a really nice variation that you can always add on with the rotor pass. It's almost just as easy as the actual pass, so I wanted to show that for you first. Step 1 is right here, okay? 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, grab. Step 2 is you're actually going to change the way your hands are. So your right hand's at 12 o'clock, this is at 12, this is at 6. This is gonna flick it now. So this is gonna flick past, like so. And your left hand is gonna turn upwards to 12 o'clock, like so. And the chain is going to wrap around as far as it can go. Do you see how it wraps around my wrist? So let's try this again. We're gonna start from the beginning, just to make it simple. Here, so my thumb's facing down, both thumbs facing down right now, boom. And then this is gonna flick over, and I'm gonna turn my wrist up, and it's gonna rotate all the way around to where they're both on the same side, like this, right? From here, my right hand, where it intercepts is actually underneath and over to the side. Now this is kind of an awkward grab at first, and it may not feel natural, so you want to practice that first. So here, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we're going to flick it. This wrist is going to turn around, and as it comes up, now this is at 12 o'clock, and this is going down at 6, but it's a rather tight 6 right here. From there, our hand just opens and it pulls out. So it looks like this. Boom, boom. This is a rotor pass. Very common move. Very cool, very easy, but you do have to kind of practice the muscle memory because it's very rare that your one hand is grabbing underneath and off to the side of the other. It's actually crossed the other side of your hand. So here, one's at 6, one's at 12. One more time, we're going to flick this over, and this is going to rotate. Our wrist is pointing up, the chain's going to wrap around the side of the wrist, and our other hand moves over to this side, like that. I'm going to do it from this side just so you can see it one more time, just in case this helps too. So 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, this is going to wrap all the way through until it can't possibly go any further. I mean, all that would happen was it would bounce and it would rotate the other way. So you know that you have more room if it doesn't bounce. Right hand reaches under and pulls. Boom, boom. It's very short, it's very sweet, very simple move. You can do this a lot with any type of pass, or even Marcus had asked for an advanced table bounce. We'll give you kind of a beginner intermediate table bounce to start with. So we're moving on to the next technique now, and we're going to use that as part of the technique. So you probably know your table bounces. If you don't, it's in a different video, but basically the table bounce is either 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're basically creating a table on these points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the table can also be moved up or down. We can work on moving the table in a minute, but let's just go ahead and work on this table bounce too. Now 1 can also be substituted. So 1 might be a tricep bounce, or it could be the back of your palm, like this. So let me show you the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. I personally actually like using my palm when it's my other hand. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, if I use my elbow, there's still 4 points, you know, above and below my elbow. But if I use my palm, I'm just rotating my palm and it's just slapping. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason why I like using my palm, and I don't think I explained that in the other video, so this might be a nice little add-on, is you can move your hand around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can move it. You can take it farther, closer. It creates more dynamics. You can have more control over it as opposed to your elbow, which you can't really shoot out unless you have some sort of crazy superhuman ability that I don't know about. Then you should be teaching some of these videos like how to do that. All right, table bounce. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, don't forget tables can be moved. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 is right now shoulders and armpits, but you can take any 4 points. For instance, we can move it down now. We can go, we can start off as, for instance, as we're doing our table bounce. Instead of shoulders and armpits, we can do legs and armpits. So then we can go here. And then we can take it back up top. So now our shoulders and armpits, right? And then we can go back to legs and armpits. None of that's really too complicated. So, but when you're working your tables, you definitely want to start working on moving between these 2 points, up and down. And just anytime you can find a way to move from your armpit. Remember, when you're in your armpit, you're kind of in the middle. You can either go up to your shoulder or you can go down to your leg, okay? And just start adding in different points. And all of this has been talked about before in the combo videos with incorporation of legs and arms. But just remember to move between those points. Don't just keep it up here. Adjust a little bit and create some dynamics with that. Now let's add some more techniques to this, okay? It's gonna get old really fast if you just keep doing the same 4 combos. Of course, we also have hyper redirects to add with that as well. But another thing you can do that's really simple, that looks really nice, is just the simple inclusion of wrist rolls. Not only does it look nice, it'll add a little more variety, and it can get fairly complicated again. So what I'd like to see you do now, and you're gonna have to work on adjusting your grip because you're gonna be doing front to backs, backs to fronts. After you do 1, I want to see you flick it up put your hand out in front of you so you don't hit your elbow, because if you flick it up here, of course, your elbow is going to get in the way. So 1, flick it up, and do a front to back wrist roll, and go to 2. Now 2 is going to look a little different because we're in a back grip. We've never really worked back grip in terms of hyper style, but anytime you start incorporating wrist rolls, you're going to have to work both back grip and front grip. And the nice thing about having a back grip is that you have control over this end. So, of course, you have reverse illusion rolls, and you have different ways that you can position it. Whereas when you have this as a front grip, you don't really position the back so much. Does that make sense, guys? It's kind of the difference between if I just stalled the nunchuck sideways, I can make it very straight, like straight, or I can even bend it at a 90-degree angle, and it gives a different feel. So when you're in your back grip, depending on which way you hold it, if I hold it horizontally or if I hold it vertically, it's going to kind of change the vibe just slightly. Or even if I hold it forward and point it towards the camera, there's just, you can explore with different ways to point the nunchuck as you're doing your hyper style. So point it horizontally, point it vertically, point it at the camera. This will give you some, some pretty cool, challenging techniques that you can add on, and they're very simple. Boom, boom. So we're gonna go back, and we're gonna just try a 4-point with wrist rolls. So here, 1, wrist roll, bounce. Okay, you're in back grip. Do you see that was a front to back grip wrist roll? So now we're gonna do back to front, down, then front to back, over, and then back to front to the top. So, I mean, quite simply, one thing I want you guys to work on now is incorporating wrist rolls with your hyper. So it just looks good. It just looks good to just add those little rolls here and there while you're doing your hyper style. Now, if front to back and back to fronts are too easy, start adding your other two, your front to fronts and your back to backs too. So for instance, let's see, what would be a good example? Okay, here we go. So if we do a 3 to a 4, we'll go 3, 4, front to front, 3. So, boom, 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 right there, see? 3, 4, front to front, 3. See if you can just keep this rotation under. 3, 4, front to front, 3. That pass we just worked on as well works great with a 3 to 4. So, we could go 1, 2, and once we get to 3, we do the rotor pass here. 3, 4. So, 1, 2, rotor pass, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, rotor pass, 3, 4. 1, 2, rotor pass, the thing we just worked on, 3, 4. So just start including, more techniques on top of that. The rotor pass is a really nice one. Another thing we can do is 1, 2, rotor pass aerial. See, rotor pass throw. Remember that one? The rotor pass throw, which I just showed you, was just half a rotor pass, flicking it up, rotating your other hand 180 degrees and letting go. So here, rotating your hand 180 and grabbing it. Here, and then letting go right there. So from here to there, catch. If you don't know how to catch an aerial, we talked about it in a different video. You basically work on chasing it and you don't do it too fast at first. So these are all different options that you can use to help make your hyper style look better. My first thing to suggest is going to be to start adding wrist rolls. I mean, we can start adding X catches, just start adding basics, but add it into the fluidity of hyper style, and what you'll find is it's going to have a lot more flair. It's going to have a lot more flair. Because just pure hyper style in itself, it looks okay, but it can look a little jagged, but once you start adding wrist rolls, I don't know, just makes a huge difference. Let's go to the next one. Let's see, what else can I do? I'm probably running out of time now, so let's go into one advanced combo. Let me see if there's any more. Yeah, and Justin was asking about horizontal combos, and Ben was looking for 3-beat weaves with wrist rolls. Ha! You guys both want some pretty big ones. Okay, let me show you in advance, because we went from beginner to intermediate, which, okay, so beginner was the rotor pass, intermediate was kind of those hyper combos. Advanced, I'm going to show you an advanced move. I've been working on it, so it's not perfect for me either, so that's how I know it's advanced, because I'm still having problems with it. But I know some of you guys are pretty close I've been working and getting close to this level, so I think you'll have fun with this challenge. Okay, goes off of this redirect. You've seen it before. Right hand slashes across, hits the outside of the bicep, rolls over to the side. We're gonna turn it into an X catch. Here, here, okay? And again, we're too advanced now, so if you can't get it, don't worry about it. It's just like an X catch that's vertical, except for we're going horizontally and it's rotating off the back of our fist. So here, here, boom. Now if you notice my X catch, my hand is always open, so it may kind of bend a little bit. Right there. Oops, let me get lower. Here, there. The cool thing about this X catch that I really like about this horizontal X catch is you can twist it, and that's what we're actually gonna do. We're gonna go from horizontal to vertical. We're gonna bend the plane. So here, here, rotate it into this X catch, but then move it vertically. So here, across. How does this X catch work? It's the exact same thing as an X catch with vertically like this, okay? One hand's pushing through the other. So over here, your hands are gonna be exactly the same, but your right is pushing through your left, just like that. It's just the same as if your left was pushing through your right on the vertical, except for it's horizontal. So keep the palms facing out, both palms facing out, and keep them open. It's an identical X catch, trust me. If you're not sure, just do it and see if you can get your hands to cross over this direction like that. Same function as an X catch. It's just a different plane. The nice thing is once we grab it here, what we're gonna do is instead of going horizontally, and I can't even hold it there, instead of going horizontally, our hand is gonna lift up like this and it's gonna launch it. But instead of catching with our hand, we're actually gonna drop it down to our bicep. So here, here, grab, grab. 1, 2, boom. One more time. Now this is the part I can't even get because I've been working on it. So I'm gonna give you a disclaimer right now, but it came to me in a flash today and I was like, man, this would be so cool if I could do this. So we're gonna practice it. And you guys might even get it before me because I just been working on this. Basically, you're gonna take your hand. You got this nice tight bicep catch. You're gonna take your hand that's on the outside, the one that's not bicep catching. You're gonna push it down into the other arm like this. As soon as you push it down, you're gonna release your hand. You're gonna release your grip with your bicep, and it's gonna roll around. It's gonna roll around your arm. And the moment it opens and catches slack, you're gonna launch your arm up in the air and throw it into an aerial. Oops. It actually works better with foam right now because I'm not practiced enough with it. But essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the same hand that launches it to catch it behind our back. So we're getting ready for the launch. We lift it up, launch it in the air, hand comes straight behind, and you're gonna try to grab it as it falls. Oops. So here, here, X catch, down, catch. Even if you don't catch it perfect, you get bonus points for this one because that's a hard throw. It's probably a hard throw because I just started working on it today. And now I'm showing you guys. But you gotta admit, it's pretty sick, right? Here, and catch. And I really like swinging my hair with it and looking down. I don't know, it just looks cooler. Oops. So, bounce. Do this regular bounce that we've been doing to a X catch, to a redirect bicep catch. Swing it down, catch. Don't drop it though, no. You must not drop it. People will not see you as a nunchuck expert then, it'll be horrible. Boom, 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 catch, and drop it again. Man, I had it, right? Here. Okay, so that last move that advanced move is experimental. I don't know how to time out the catch yet, to be honest, so I'm still working on it myself. Going from a bicep catch to a wrap to an aerial, I don't have a consistency yet. There's got to be a trick though, so I've just yet to figure it out. So I'm sure it has to do with the balancing point and also where you throw it and how you throw it, the angle that you throw it. But it's still a work in progress. So I'm probably gonna be asking again next week for requests. So if you do have requests for Technique Thursday, definitely let me know. Jump on the Facebook message group or send me a YouTube message or any of that. You guys got all different kinds of techniques today, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Have fun with it.